What do we do? What do we do?
These aggressive entrepreneurs are going to kill Google. We can't let this happen. They're typing up code, hiring people, bringing in private equity. Mumbai, ChatGPT. Let's throw in some fake content and some leads. Let's go.
Links will help.
About as much as this clipboard in today's society.
No tariffs on us.
What role do roofing backlinks play, and are they important in 2025 for you to show up in ranking? You know, guys, been talking about this. In fact, this is how Google started, and a lot of people hype this as the only end-all get-out. We've been doing this 15 years. Is it still important today? And what type of things should you be looking for? A lot of change going on right now.
Right.
But you can't abandon all essential SEO. Somebody would talk about this the other day, and it's like, is SEO dead? No, but most agencies are.
The annual question.
Yeah, is SEO dead? SEO's changed. Google still judges you based upon digital brand signaling. The algorithm changed. Some people changed and did great things like we did and built data pins for better brand signaling. But if you decide to just scoff everything, you're going to have a hard time.
Yeah.
You know, so I'll let you go. I want to say a couple things about it, backlinks. So I don't remember, is it Larry and Sergey or something? Were those the Google guys?
Yeah.
Larry and Sergey or something.
You got it right.
All right. So those two guys figured out how to said, hey, if websites point in for best roofer in Dallas, Texas, that's who the best roofer in Dallas, Texas is. And I can imagine, I've said this before, they probably had about this much code base.
Yeah.
You know,
the original Google code was like a few thousand lines, I think, or maybe a couple
just
million.
like a few pages worth of stuff. And nowadays, it's probably would fill up this room and maybe 1,000 more. I don't know. And it's AI and it thinks on its own and it's got its own brain. But back then, it was just this, maybe it was no more than my little clipboard here. That was it. And it was old school, like this clipboard.
Yeah.
And so we're going to talk about it a little bit. But I still use a clipboard, Jason, because I like it. And the links, they have a little bit of benefit.
They do. Links will help.
About as much as this clipboard in today's society and what's happening today. So can it have some benefit? Yeah, a little bit. But links come from usually other countries, and it's a way to where, I'll go back to where Sergey and Larry, so they got this business popping. They're not even making any money yet. They haven't started, and the whole world begins to exploit their one-trick pony.
Yeah.
So it's called a backlink. And so the whole world starts saying, I need 1 million links for best roofer in Dallas, Texas. Roof repair will go ahead and stick in shingle and roof insurance claims help. Load me up. And they were pointing a finger saying, don't do that. Hey, guys, don't do that.
We don't like that.
We don't like it.
We want links to be naturally occurring.
Yeah, they did their nerdy Urkel thing, and nobody listened to them. You know, that's don't do it. And so everybody's like, whatever, Sergey, whatever, Larry, we don't give a damn. We're taking over roofing in Dallas.
Right.
And so did they have a good brand? No. Did they have good content? Hell no. It was horrible back then.
If they had it. A lot of times it was like one page, nothing else.
They called up, like, ring, ring, hey, hello, Mumbai. Yeah, it's like, I could get some Americans to do it, but let's get this done really cheap and dirty. Let's call Mumbai. Mumbai, are you there yet? I need a bunch of backlinks. And so everybody's flooding them in. Sergey and Larry over there frantically typing code. Like
what do we do?
These aggressive entrepreneurs are going to kill Google. We can't let this happen. They're typing up code, hiring people, bringing in private equity money. They're staffing up like crazy, best people they could possibly find. And they keep shaking a finger. But I can imagine the code base for this went into like millions and millions, billions of lines of code. Yeah. And so when they finally get a complicated algorithm, they come down with a vengeance and start banning everybody that's been, and they said for years, don't do it. So nowadays, is it important? It is a metric, and it's a third-party metric, and a lot of people look at it and act like it's the end-all get-out, but Google's so far beyond these things, so far beyond them. But they judge a brand's brand signaling, their digital footprint. The inbound links are arguably something that's there, but very minor.
It's important to note that we're specifically talking about local SEO when we're saying this. Yeah. If you're trying to get a news website going, backlinks are still really important if you're trying to go national or worldwide or whatever. Right. But the local algorithm is radically different. And backlinks are demoted way down.
And
in importance.
legitimate backlinks.
Yeah, that's the other thing. Yeah. Backlinks, to be any good for you on local, they need to be legit. They need to be naturally occurring, not 1,000 purchase links out of Mumbai,
which is
wherever.
almost impossible to get.
Yeah.
So if you pay an American or you pay Mumbai, the American's calling Mumbai.
Yeah.
So I'm just telling you, it's going to give you trash. And then here's another thing I want to say: the SEOs that are ridiculous, and I'm sick of them because I always have a little joke I tell on the phone with people. There's 30,000 digital marketing agencies, and 29,900 of them are really bad. So when they're telling you, there was an old lawyer joke that a lawyer
you
said.
actually changed that because it used to be 29,999 are bad.
Yeah, I mean,
He didn't used to give anybody but us
those
any credit.
are worse. I will say that we are the one.
We are the best.
Yeah, we are the singularity.
But there's some runners up, some honorable mentions.
No,
out there.
I'm not saying that. I'm just saying they're not screwing them. Don't go that far. Yeah, they're still dirtbags, but. Yeah, but they're the ones selling them links. They're selling you links. Yeah. So when someone's like, you got to have this. Well, when people say SEO's dead, that's because the goofball 29,900 goofballs are selling you stuff that they can do.
Moreover, they can do easily.
They can do it easily. Mumbai, ChatGPT, let's throw in some fake content and some leads. Let's go. That'll be thousands for you, Mr. Roofer. And then you wonder what happened. You just got rookie dude from old school SEO techniques that are complete garbage and trash. Now, a tiny bit of domain authority maybe, but you don't just keep slamming stuff. And do you think the guys doing links are smarter than the boys at Google in the sentient AI algorithm? I don't even know what that computer's called. They got some computer that looks like it came out of Aliens or something, like it could attack. It looks weird. Yeah, it looks weird. But anyway, you're not beating them. You're supposed to send out good digital brand signaling. You're supposed to say, hey, here's our brand. And the reason this is so bad is because you're supposed to produce content for your potential client and the Google user. And I'd have to include Gemini AI with Google's AI bot. And so if they like you and they say this is a good roofer, and by the way, most roofers who go try to the market, because the market changed pretty radically in the last 2 years.
Yeah.
So those 29,900 people, the ones that didn't make, and the 29,999 that did not make data pins, that don't have good SEO metrics for you, they're digging out the same trash bag of tricks. It's spoiled, it's rotten. But that's
when I would talk to these people online, colleagues and other companies like on Twitter and stuff like that, they spent, when the helpful content update hit and all of their ranking on all the stuff they managed started tanking, they spent 6 months, and I'm not exaggerating, on Twitter whining about it and trying to figure it out.
Right.
And by the way, we already had data pins and none of our stuff tanked.
No, we didn't. We didn't.
In fact, it started doing better.
We've been getting better and better still to this day. ChatGPT picked up a bunch of stuff on further away from the map stuff. So we got all kinds of cool metrics. But it's because it's good digital brand signaling. I did a job here. Here's a geo coordinate where it was. Here's the material we're working on. Here's a 10-word caption of what we did. And Google, I'm going to add this to my shingle roof replacement page. Validate that I'm actually doing these. I know I've got 25 or 50 reviews, but I've been on 500 roofs. Yeah. That is excellent digital brand signaling as opposed to more bad links. And when I say they're bad links, go look at the websites these links come from. I mean, some of they're awful. And so the algorithm may not entirely penalize you on a link, but they're smart enough not to take it. And they're smart enough to know that you don't have a good user experience and that your brand signaling is iffy. It's supposed to give Google signs of experience, expertise, authority, and trust. And paying someone to do links does none of those things. In fact, it really jeopardizes your relationship with Google. It's like, hey, I'm going to try some really old school stuff that y'all been smart enough to get around for 6 years and see if I can fake it, because I got a really crappy website that I'd love to show up at the top of rankings. I don't really want to do data pins, even though they only take 90 seconds, because I'm just going to stick my fingers in my ears, see if I can bully my way into Google.
Yeah.
So that is the wrong move. We still do old school essential SEO that works. So you might need citations. You might need a few things. You might need a tiny bit of domain authority, which is a nicer way to save some backlinks. but we're darn careful about it.
Yeah, we take a very light touch when we do it.
Yeah. So, but you need all these other points of digital brand signaling. No, SEO is not dead. You're foolish if you think that. Look up roofer in your market, and you'll find everybody in town that you wish you were like are all up in rankings there. And I add in Gemini and ChatGPT now because we do really well there.
Yeah.
We like organic optimization, by the way.
I mean, if you want to talk about backlinks versus something like data pins,
Yeah.
we had someone in the office on the phone with a potential client 2 weeks ago, and the potential client was challenging. Well, I think backlinks are more important, and he's telling him, no, actually, data pins will do more for you.
Yeah.
So the
ChatGPT said
client
that.
got on ChatGPT while on the phone and asked, which is better for local SEO, backlinks or data pins? And ChatGPT said data pins is strong, delivers
Yeah, that's awesome.
is stronger for local
That's
SEO.
awesome. So you have some old school metric that's probably been used by hundreds of thousands of people involved in backlinks across the world. In our software, it's better.
Yeah.
It's better than all that crud. That's how bad they are, by the way. ChatGPT said it's bad. You're supposed to send out good brand signaling to provide a good user experience. It'll get picked up by Google, Bing, ChatGPT, Gemini AI to get you in map rankings, to get you in organic rankings so your phone will ring regularly. And it is simple for me to see it at this point. I've done this a long time, but your job every day should be to try to send good brand signaling. Doesn't get better than data pins and working with roofing webmasters. And we don't try to sell you all that crud, and we don't have to.
Right.
We don't have to, because we were worried about bad content a long time ago. You call some bozo, and that's all they got left. They got their old bag of tricks left from 2023, and now Google's on them like stink on you know what, and they're coming after them. And their sites, and in fact, if your site's been down, this is why. It's either apathy or extreme spam, which both created a poor user experience and poor brand signaling. Anything else to add to that?
I'm good.
Guys, call us. Y'all know we'd like to hear from you. Speaking of y'all, out of Fort Worth, Texas, sitting here right now, good old Texas service, everything under roof. We will never, ever ship you out off this, out of the states. We're out of Texas. You'll never hit Mumbai.
No tariffs on us.
No tariffs here. No, we're just high dollar and high paid on everything. But yeah, we got good deals on it. Actually, speaking of that, since I said that, we are less expensive by levels of magnitude, like hundreds of % less than people that claim to do the old school stuff.
Yeah.
Because we have better processes, AI integrated into data pins, and a lot of programmatic features harnessing the uniqueness of your daily jobs for your digital brand signaling, and other people doing this old bullshit by hand.
Right.
So, I mean, we have lowered the prices significantly in the last 6 months. Cost something, but it's a darn good deal now.
It is.
More thousands left. Anyway, it's a good deal. All right, guys, call, email, message. We'd like to hear from you,
Like and subscribe.
please.